Hey, I'm Adam DeBruin with Brian Diesel. This is my W900 that we just got done putting Kelderman's new W900 air ride front on. Clearly you can see it drops down a ways, which let me tell you, if you don't like to climb up in a truck, it's kind of sweet. Gets you a good 4 inches lower so you can get right in. We put the good clicker shocks on, and we clearly got a tag axle on the truck, so we run some weight, and that just really helps with your front end stability, and the ride is just so much better with this air ride front. We had the old spring ride before. We went to the airbags. The driver absolutely loves it. Says it just rides like a dream. I tell you, it's quite the kit. Looks good. I think everybody ought to have one, in my opinion.
So Adam, you're talking about how everyone should have one. There are other brands out there. And we're not going to mention any names, but there are some other there. Why do you like the Kelderman better than any of the other brands that are on the market right now?
So I really like the Kelderman because you don't have to remove the U-bolts to be able to replace your airbag. If you blow an airbag, which, to be honest, it's a truck, we use it. It's not a show truck. We run her up down the road every day, so it gets wear and tear. Things happen. If you have to replace a bag, you can get right in there. You can replace it easy. It works good, and you can see all the parts. They're good, solid parts. Some of the other guys are a little chintzy, in my opinion. No names, but we've been around several different kits. They don't make a factory kit for the W900 as far as I know, and it works amazing. It's flawless in my opinion.
So you talked a little bit earlier about how it rides so much better. What are some of the big things you notice when you're driving this versus when you just had the leaf spring on before?
So we get to run it out on some roads, a lot of 2 lanes, because we're not allowed on the big roads, on the 4 lane, because being overweight, being over 80,000, they don't allow that. And if anybody's traveled Iowa, some of the 2 lanes kind of suck. There's a lot of cracks, break, push-ups. This time of year, it gets hot, things expand, So it really, it helps soak up a lot of that. Where the spring ride, you kind of rode the same no matter what. And the springs, they're tough. So you get the air in there, and that air just, it's like, it's riding on a cloud. It's like sleeping on a water bed versus a spring bed,
Absolutely. So Adam, let's go ahead. Why don't you pop the hood for us, and maybe we can take a little further deep look into the air ride on this thing.
See if we can get the hood open. One other advantage, brings the hood way lower down so you can actually get them. Some of these dumb guys, they got a head, so you really get them open this way.
Ooh, look at that color too.
Oh, it got dusty. Dang gravel parking lots.
Right, so this is kind of a cool deal. You can tell us a little bit. We were able to get this powder coated a closer, like a metallic orange kind of for you. How important is that for you, knowing that you kind of have that where you can pick a color?
I really like it. If you look at some of my trucks, I like orange. I'm a big orange fan. It really pops. Looks good in my opinion. So yeah, it's kind of cool being able to get a little color match. We've got a little touch-ups we got to do on the frame yet from some moving brackets and stuff, but I think it just pops. It shows what they did and the different parts in there, and so really it shows it off in my opinion. It looks really good.
And another thing you mentioned to me a little bit ago is you really like how there's 2 height control valves, because not all of them have that.
Yes, so some kits, they actually run off of an air pressure setting. So they'll run different pressure to get your height. And well, if you know how on air ride on trucks work or anything air, sometimes things go to leaking, and well, then you got to keep an eye on that. You sure hate to get too low and tear up a bumper, run on the bump stops or whatever. So it's kind of nice. You got 2 leveling valves, 1 on each side, keeps them right where they're supposed to be. That way one doesn't get a little low. And we've experienced before where kits will only have 1 leveling valve on one side. Well, then you get a little bit of body roll when you go into a corner because all the air transfers to the other side. And this way they're both separate. Each one controls each valve, or the valve controls each bag, and it works really nice. Keeps them right where they're supposed to be, and sometimes you can adjust them just a little bit for the crime of the road, so that way the truck stays where you need it to be, and tires wear good, which is one other thing. This truck has always had an issue on wearing the outside of the steer tire off, and we've ran it, I think, what was that, a month ago we put this kit on?
Yeah, about a month.
And as you can see, the tires are still nice and square. They're not wearing funny. So in my opinion, it's been a win. I love it.
So let's say there's someone on the fence, they've heard everything up to this point, and they're still not sure if this is right for them. What would you tell them?
It depends on your application, but honestly, it's you can see we didn't do a lot of work to it. You know, it doesn't take a lot. It rides great. It really does, in my opinion. I mean, these trucks, you know, they see a lot of miles. They beat up and down the road. It saves all your suspension components, saves the driver. You know, sometimes driver fatigue is a lot. You bounce around in a truck all day, you know, and you get vibrations from the road run up through, and it gets to wearing on a guy after a while. You know, my opinion, if you got drivers or drive it yourself, whichever, sometimes you got to spend a little bit of money for driver comfort, you know, keep them happy, and it looks good and it rides good and just performs excellent.
Absolutely. And Adam, you didn't put this kit on. Where can someone go if they want to get one of these kits put on and they're in the Midwest somewhere?
I know you can go to Outer Limits Truck Repair. They put mine on, and they did a great job. They're easy to communicate with. I was in and out a little bit, kind of checking on it, helping out when I could. And they did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. Well, there you heard it, folks. Outer Limits putting on the new Kelderman W900 air ride kits. Again, this was Adam with DeBruin Diesel. We want to thank him for letting us use it and figure everything out on his truck.
Yeah.
And Adam, just thank you for letting us borrow this thing for a little bit so we could get this tuned in for all the guys over at Kelderman Manufacturing and here at Outer Limits. So.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome to work with you guys.
Alrighty, guys. Again, this was kit number 1 done. We're looking forward. We do have a few more lined up already, and we're really excited for that. So again, if you're looking for one, you can get a hold of Adam and ask him about his, or you know, just stop out at Outer Limits and we can help you figure out if this is going to be right for you or not. So again, W900 kit on Adam DeBruin Diesel truck here, and thank you all for tuning in and watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and everything. And we'll get back to you next time with another Kelderman air ride kit soon.